Well, we all know that in the age of COVID-19 lockdowns, there are only two authorised activities. One is to bake sourdough bread and the other is to grow your own vegetables. And this has skyrocketed while people have been spending more time in their homes. It's not only relaxing and enjoyable, but you can save big bucks. And here to join us and tell us all about how to do it is News Corp's savvy shopper columnist, Serina Bird. Hi, Serina, how are you?
Really well, thanks. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. And gosh, can I say, Smart Daily, what an amazing new section of the paper it is, and what good-looking columnists they have. Anyway, that's a slight tangent. Tell us a bit about home gardening and how much money can it actually save?
Well, obviously it depends on what you grow, and you would hope that you would grow what you like to eat, which is a big factor too. But just to give an idea of the sums, say for instance you would buy a bunch of, say, parsley every week, which you may or may not eat. Like sometimes you end up finding that, leftover, parsley limp and a little bit, changed in appearance at the bottom of your vegetable drawer. So say you're spending $3 a week, but you're growing your own and you pick it as you need it. So, snip some off, put it on as a garnish. You could save $3 a week, $12 a month, or $144 a year just with one really healthy parsley plant. So it really does make a difference, and all those little things do add up.
Serina, I'm totally guilty of having to throw out herbs or even that mushy lettuce that really smells. It's smelly lettuce.
Yep.
And baby spinach. It's always a crying shame when I have to throw that out. But Serina, what do we need to get started?
Yeah. Well, actually less than you might think. Like, we often think that you need to have a very expensive trip to the garden centre, and I love garden centres, and I get totally sidetracked by the garden gnomes and the nice tinkly things that you hang up, and all the lovely plants and all the accessories. But really it's quite simple. You obviously need some water, and that's important because you've got to remember to water your plants. You need something to grow them in, and you need some soil. Now, in terms of soil, you can buy some soil potting mix at any supermarket or hardware store. If you happen to have in-laws on acreage with horses, well, that's good. That's a really cheap way of boosting the soil quality. Your own compost system, that can also help. And even things like coffee grounds can really help boost the quality of the soil that you're growing your vegetables in.
Awesome. Now, Serena, my uncle, Dodgy Dave, used to grow a lot of tomato plants in his backyard, and they were quite the hit in the neighbourhood. In fact, the local police officer...
Tomato plants?
Yeah, the local police officer was always coming over just to see how he was doing it. But we can all grow tomato plants as well. How do you actually do that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you can buy tomato seeds, but sometimes, you eat a tomato and it's just beautiful, like particularly some types of gourmet tomatoes, and you think, wow, I'd really like to have that kind of tomato. So what you can do is you can actually cut it open and you can save the seeds. One tip that I like to do is, this is from last year actually, is you get a piece of kitchen paper and then you smear those seeds onto the paper, allow it to dry, and then it's really easy just to take a few little pieces off and you can plant it, and it's all nicely spaced too.
Wow.
So that's really good too. And for propagating, because it can be quite cold this time of year still. I mean, I live in Canberra, so, Canberra bubble, cold. So I like to use leftover strawberry punnets, because I hate throwing out this plastic. I really do, even if it's recycled. And so then I put them in here, and it creates a really nice mini greenhouse effect, so that it's free from the frost.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Well, is there a right way to plant out your vegetables?
Well, the key thing is to make sure that you don't disturb the root system too much. I have a handy, very expensive implement in my garden, which is a chopstick. So I have a metal chopstick, and I use that to make nice big holes, so the right size hole, and put them in. I also like to raise seeds in egg cartons. Now, the advantage of an egg carton, and it works really well for things like peas and beans, is that you can then separate each individual egg carton out and plant the whole thing in, and that doesn't disturb the root system, and it decomposes, so the roots will grow through that. And you can be really helps you to space them out so it looks really pretty, not all higgledy-piggledy.
Nice. So cardboard and all, you can just put the whole lot in, and that's all good.
Yeah. Yep.
wow.
That will decompose. That will decompose.
And you've also got a great tip on creating a cheap garden bed.
Well, that's a real issue for a lot of people, particularly people who live in apartments or who live in, they're renting their accommodation. They don't want to necessarily put all the money into building a big garden bed, as lovely as they are, or they're not allowed to. So what you can do is just simply buy a bag of soil. Just a bag of soil, and then you can put, get a knife or some scissors and make some holes in and plant things out. Certain things such as strawberry plants, they work really well that way. And if you think about it, when you see strawberry plants being grown commercially, they have plastic in between.
Yeah.
So you've already got that with. Exactly. And another thing too is to go to your greengrocer or supermarket and ask for a broccoli box. So those styrofoam boxes, they're about this size. They make perfect garden beds, and often a box of soil potting mix will fit exactly in that as well.
Wow.
So you can just whack it in and you can start growing on your balcony.
Oh, Serina, you've given us some amazing tips. Now, to find out more, look for the Savvy Shopper column in your local News Corp newspaper, or visit savvyshopper.net.au rather. Serina, thanks so much for joining us here on Studio 10.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.